Go. You'd think I'd be ready after 16 episodes. We're bringing you the longest running live show from the Content Marketing Institute. And we're recording today, Thursday, May 5th. And that means the force must be with you. Now, for the next 30 minutes, creativity is our shared superpower. So pull up a comfortable chair, smile, and get ready for some right brain nourishment. It almost feels like well, that was a little embarrassing. My name is Buddy Scalera, and I'm a content strategist building intelligent content solutions. I'm an NFT creator and a professional comic book writer. And I'm joined by Content Marketing Institute's legendary creative director, their lead designer, the bartender at the Mos Eisley Cantina, and the alchemist of creativity, Joe J.K. Kalinowski.
Good afternoon, my friend, and might I say happy vacation. You're looking at me today from lovely Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm in the best vacation duds I could find. I got my Aloha shirt, my bucket hat, my sunglasses to celebrate vacation and relaxation, baby. So, how are you doing?
I have to tell you that your ensemble there is just relaxes me. By the way, can you see me at all? You want to put on
Not
your regular?
really.
No.
I'm gonna switch over.
There you go. You switch over. While
you.
you're switching over, I will tell you, Joe, I too am on a spring vacation or a May vacation, and I feel great. I think today we're going to be talking about those unexpected benefits of taking a break from work and really giving your brain a chance to relax, and also the benefits of exercise. But I believe we have a quick duet for everyone who wants to aloha with us. So here's our content creative show jam. You ready? Go. All right, there you go. I don't know why both of us have ukuleles within reach of our desk, but it seemed like something to...
It's a little strange, but you know what? It's acceptable, right?
It's acceptable. You know what? One day we'll have an episode when we have the live audience and just ask people to share what's within reach of their desk, because you do have the weirdest things within reach, don't you?
I do. I mean, honestly, who else has a stormtrooper nutcracker sitting on their desk? I mean, it's so funny, buddy.
In case you need to crack a walnut. And
exactly. I mean, it's just, it's so funny that you bring that up. I was visiting a friend yesterday for Star Wars Day, and he is a bigger Star Wars fan than me. He's, and I stop in his shop, and has 9 replica Darth Vader helmets on the wall. I mean, it's just nuts how much stuff he has. And I look around and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how you get work done. And then my wife is like, you know what? People probably say the same thing about you. So, but it's inspiration. It really is. I mean, you draw inspiration from what makes you happy.
You do. So, and also, they say that ideas...
Oh, look at that.
Isn't that beautiful? Ideas come when your brain finally relaxes. And Joe, while both of us are on a light vacation in the spring, it's important to note that, more people are working from home and fewer people are taking vacations, but that may not be the best thing for people's creativity. We did a little bit of research and found there's actually studies that reinforce this. What did you discover as you were doing some pre-reading to prepare for the show?
Well, what I found incredibly interesting, especially about one of the things that we are going to talk about, which is very important to me, is not just the act of resting and breaking away from a computer, because a lot of folks know that I have worked remotely for years. The Content Marketing Institute is a we're split up all over the country, and we have always worked remote. And that was the biggest and hardest thing for me, was to know when to turn it off, when you're working from home, because I had worked in an office for years and years and years before I accepted the position as creative director at CMI. Learning how to turn your brain off, which is very hard to do, especially when the computer is right across the room and you have a great idea, or whatever. Uh, but the other thing that I found very interesting is how not just the relaxation and the vacation, but a topic that we're going to talk about a little bit as well is the benefits of exercising and getting out of the house, and moving your body, and how well that benefits creativity. I just found it incredibly interesting, and I can attest, and we can talk about it in a little bit, buddy. But some of the tactics that I do, because I'm a runner, and how I really enjoy using that to foster some creativity, and get the creative juices flowing.
Yeah, and there's some expert insight. There was an article that actually extolled the benefits of going on a vacation. So it was in the Atlantic, and I'm gonna read a quote from Adam Galinsky, a professor at Columbia
Yeah,
Business School, who said that foreign experiences increase both cognitive flexibility and depth and integrativeness of thought, the ability to make deep connections between disparate forms. Okay, there's a lot. But what he basically added to that was the key critical process is multicultural engagement. That is getting out of your country and your comfort zone, immersion and adaptation. So someone who lives abroad and doesn't engage with the local culture will likely get a less creative boost rather than someone who travels abroad and really engages with the local environment. So, Joe, whether it's traveling in country or out of country, there seems to be a benefit to getting out of your comfort zone.
absolutely. I mean, case in point, look at all of our friends from Europe. That when they come to the Americas, or they come to the United States, uh, it's so interesting. Meeting up with some folks during content marketing world, as we do, and sit down and discuss with them. When they take a holiday and they come to the States, they take it all in.
Yeah.
um and they really appreciate their time away, and their time with us. But like, you find out that, hey, we're staying, I can think of a few people that actually say, hey, we're staying a few extra days after the event, just to go here, and to go here, and to go here, multiple points back. They might not technically, they might fly into Cleveland, but they might fly out of New York City, because they're going to hit points all the way back to New York City, because they really want to take in the culture and really see things that we take for granted. But what's wonderful about that, buddy, is the fact that they nurture that and use that to foster their own creativity. After reading some of these articles that you sent over, I just found it very interesting. The in country versus out of country stuff is just amazing. I from person I mean, I remember talking to you when you did some travel, and you went to the Mucha Museum, and you were
Yeah.
sending me pictures from my favorite artist, who's tattooed all over my arms, Alphonse Mucha. And I was so excited for you, but you were oozing creativity, in those photos. I could just tell how excited and how happy you were to be there. But how inspiring you found the whole trip, not just the architecture of the city and everything that you were in, but you kind of like, you were just immersed in everything, and the culture, and everything around you, that just kind of, it was almost like a wellspring of inspiration and creativity.
Yeah, it certainly is. And even when we go to places that are, for me, novel, like Cleveland every year for the big show,
Hmm.
or you and I are going to be traveling to Content Tech, um, to San Diego, getting out of your comfort zone, you see things in a different way. If you think about your commute when you used to commute, when you used to
Yeah,
commute, you can turn your brain off. You go there on muscle memory. So you're
sure.
not really taking in any information. It's kind of mundane. But when you're traveling in another city or different country, you're on alert. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're looking out for your safety. You're looking for the art and design and architecture. And there's something about that that stimulates creativity. But there's something else that stimulates creativity. Joe, you mentioned that you're a runner, and
Yeah.
it is widely held that exercise is tied to cognitive ability. There were several studies that we looked at together in advance. Which one struck you as most personal and most beneficial in your mind to creativity?
Well, the one that you sent over, buddy, that I found, I'm sorry, I don't have it sitting right in front of me, but the one where they were talking about flexibility,
Hmm.
the assort the eh, the one they were talking in the one study. I wish I could pull up the numbers. I don't have my screen
Yeah,
in front of me,
let
but
me pull it up real
yeah,
quick.
please
So
do, because I love the one that came from nature.com.
that's the one I'm pulled up right now. I think we both
Yeah, with this.
connected with the right one. There's this idea of the Guilford alternate use test, and basically
Yes.
what this is it's called an AUT, and it tests how people think creatively, and then they change the stimuli. So just real quick, it's the AUT, and within a time constraint, they have people think of as many uses for an object. So you might be given a mundane object, but you now have to think of different ways you can use it. And the AUT measures according to fluency, originality, flexibility, and elaboration. And the stat that we were just thinking about, I think we both responded to, which was, and I quote, walking increased 81% of participants' creativity on the test. Moreover, quote, when seated after walking, participants exhibited residual creative boost. And I think that really resonated for us.
That's the one that I loved. It's like, okay, so basically, in a nutshell, you you were given an idea, you went outside and walked, and you got to think about it without any. So you're taking in all kinds of information while you're kind of keeping that thought in mind. You come back, you sit down, and you're inspired. And what was it? 81% had a creative boost after going out and then
Yeah,
coming and sitting down.
it's incredible.
Um, so just from a personal standpoint, I can attest that you and I were talking about this the other day, and I'm a big fan of always having like little notebooks around, like these little kind of field notes or whatever, where I can write, ideas or notes to myself or, grocery lists, whatever. Um, but I have come to where almost like a mini fanny pack when I'm running.
Yeah.
And I always keep one of these in there with a pen because there are so many times when I'm out and I'll have my AirPods in and I'll be listening to some music or a podcast or whatever. But other than thinking about my breathing and my pace and maybe how fast I'm running, I'm really hyper focused on maybe a thought for the day or maybe what I was working on before I left. Um, and I have to admit, I'll go a little retro CMI here. Some of the best ideas I had for content marketing world was running with, when Joe Polizzi and I used to go out and run all the time together. We'd run races and we'd chat and we'd talk. And it was just a great time to really kind of get your mind in a thought process because there's really not much for you to do except for to run and to think. And it was very wholesome and like very almost a little existential for me. It just makes me feel like, oh wow, I have an idea. It gives me time to think about it, and then I come home. And even like if I'm out and I really want to get it down, I will stop my running watch and I'll write these ideas down on a piece of paper, put them back in my pack, and run home and elaborate as soon as I get back.
Yeah, and studies reveal that this isn't just you, Joe. This is if you're stuck on something. This is if you are, even if you don't think you need a creative idea. People actually perform better when they take a break. So we talked about vacation, foreign stimuli. These things give people an unexpected boost. And as we were continuing to research, I wanted to know if there were other examples of this. And it was very quick to find, a lot of big thinkers, for example, Einstein, believed in a daily walk, and some say he did about 45 minutes a day at minimum, which helped free his brain and it got the blood flowing. There were philosophers, most famously Aristotle, who believed that many of his best talks and conversations were tied to walking. And he used to say there were three activities inextricably linked, and that was thinking, walking, and talking. So, as we start to think, how do we optimize our creativity? How do we bring better ideas forward? Sometimes it's not powering it out of the desktop, Joe. Sometimes it's a matter of saying, I'm leaving the desktop so that when I get back to the desktop, I am more effective.
Oh, buddy, you couldn't have put it more perfectly. And to make it a little personal with you and I, how many times have you and I sat and you've called me during one of your daily walks?
Most of the time.
And these are where we come up with some of these ideas for the show, or some of the stuff that we want to pursue, with the Buddy and Joe creativity, where I just need to bounce an idea off you, or if you need to bounce off an idea off me. It's just fantastic, just stepping away from this little screen, go outside, or even if you just go walk around a track somewhere, even if it's inside, if you're getting away from, sometimes these things can be the most creative, a tool for the best creativity, but the creativity that you need to make this tool work comes from here and comes from here.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can get that creativity flowing is when you're in tune both here and here, and then you make your computer work.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think I could add anything to that. So that makes it the perfect transition to one of the most popular parts of the show. I'm going to cue Amanda. There is no substitute. Subler, pull up the graphic for what's in the box. I
I
think
love I love that music.
I love the music, but I think if you can design a shirt for Amanda alone, that is, there is no substitute for Subler. I think that
Oh,
right.
yeah, I think it should be Amanda. There is no substitute Subler.
That's right. There is no
Yeah,
substitute subler. So, if people don't realize, Amanda is our brilliant engineer who, every time we turn around, is bringing new innovation and creativity to this show. So, we thank her
absolutely.
for that.
Thank you, Amanda.
So, Joe, what
Um,
what is in the box? By the way, just for people who are tuning in, Joe has found a way to get a tax write-off for all of the wonderful toys that he brings. He makes it part of our show. And every time he comes home, and I have verified this with Mrs. Kalinowski, that you will walk in with a box of something, and the question is, what's in the box, JK? So today, JK,
yes.
what's in the box?
Okay, so buddy, I wanted to share with you and our creative show friends, um, a couple of experiences I had this week. And one is specifically tied to creativity that you and I talked about
Hmm,
earlier.
okay.
And then another one is just a wonderful experience that I had with Mrs. Kalinowski and her classroom that I also wanted to share. So let's start off, buddy, with a little exercise I did with my daughter, Jane, who I think some of our audience have met before, and my friend Sean. We went to an event here in Cleveland called Fan Expo, and for those who don't know, Fan Expo is kind of like a Comic Con, card collectible comic book show, uh, and we went all weekend and just had a wonderful time. And I may or may not have spent way too much money on stuff that I have to work into the show somehow so I can write it up. But one of the most wonderful things that I did and got to experience with my friends and family was a little event, an after show event called a drink and draw. It was created by an artist who was in attendance at the show and hosted this little event, and it was called, the Drink and Draw. And basically, we went up. You sat at this little bar, and there was paper and pencils everywhere. And the artist, I'm sorry, his name was Joe Woes, Wos, Joe Woes, and Joe had this most wonderful horrible lounge jacket on, shiny and stuff, and he had a lounge music playing. And then what he said, it doesn't matter if you can only draw a stick person or you're an accomplished comic book artist. He goes, we're going to have fun. And what Joe Woes did was gave us prompts to draw. Um, so basically, the first song that he played on his jukebox or whatever he had there was a song called Rock and Roll McDonald's. And it's just kind of like fun song. And he goes, now draw what you think you'd see at a rock and roll McDonald's. So it was great. Everybody was just coming up with these hilarious, like Ronald McDonald, like with like a mohawk and guitar. I drew if you guys can remember Grimace, that kind of triangular shaped, but I drew Grimace with Gene Simmons makeup on. And so it was so fun. Amanda, I think I might have sent you a picture from there. I don't know if you could pull it up. If not, it's no big deal. But it was just, you didn't get it. Okay. Well, what it was. It was this wonderful, like, chubby Grimace with his tongue out and the Gene Simmons makeup. But what I wanted to get to, buddy, and why I wanted to share this with you, because it spurred so much creativity from everybody in the room. And like I said, some of the activities was like, if you're used to drawing Batman, he said that one of the activities was like, okay, you can draw whatever you want to draw on this activity, but you have to use you can't use your non-dominant hand. You have to use your less dominant hand. So my buddy Sean, who's an illustrator and draws Batman, had to draw Batman with his left hand.
Oh boy.
You had to, and you and I were talking about this before, you had to draw somebody in the room without them knowing. It was just so fun. It was an icebreaker because, you had to present your drawing to the person that you drew without them knowing. So like somebody would just walk across the room and hand you a drawing of yourself.
Oh, that's weird, huh?
Yeah. What it did is it broke you out of a creative comfort zone, because it put everybody on the same level. Because, like he said, it's all about spurring creativity and ideas, and not technically, or the technical side of it, like how well you draw something. It's how creative you get with the prompts.
Yeah,
And that's what really
it frees you up from that technical perspective, which is, oh, I didn't get the proportion right. You know what? You didn't have time to get the proportion right, or your left hand won't let you get the proportion right.
right.
So, creativity in a lot of ways, Joe, is not the act of the final product, but the act of doing and finding a way to just say, it's okay. The reason when we were kids, our mother hung art on the door of the refrigerator wasn't because it was particularly good. It was because we had done something honest and real.
Right.
And now we self-censor. We say, oh, it's not good enough. And really, art isn't about good enough. It's about opening your mind and your heart to sharing yourself. And I think that that's what you experienced.
I did. And thank you, buddy. That was perfect. That's exactly what we did in that room. We had such a fun time. And honestly, I was so inspired. I talked to Joe Woes after the event and thanked him and got his blessing to perhaps do something similar at Content Marketing World with Buddy and JK. So everybody keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, because we might be putting together some kind of little fun event at Content Marketing World to do something very similar. Like, let's just have some creative thought and have a little fun with it. So
now, Joe, I think you had a little fun yesterday. We are recording on May 5th. This will stream at a different time. But as everyone knows, May 4th is Star Wars Day. Joe, why is May 4th a Star Wars Day?
May the 4th be with you, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. Puns abound. But you know what?
Yeah.
Most people wish each other a happy May the 4th. But you could one step further. Can you show us some imagery? Let's let the pictures do the talking. What are we looking at here, Joe?
Okay. Well, I was Mrs. K, my wife, who's standing next to me in the photos, I dressed as Darth Vader and visited my wife's pre-K classroom at her school yesterday. So I had the wonderful experience of dressing up like Darth Vader and going in and passing out fruit snacks and getting my photos taken with a bunch of wonderful children here in Cleveland at my wife's classroom. In the photo, there's my wife Kristen next to me, and Emily and Trish, her assistants, and we absolutely had a blast. The young lady dressed as Princess Leia in the center photo, she was so attached to Darth Vader when I walked into the room, she wanted to press the my chest buttons, and she hung out with me the whole time, just like you see in this photo. Not only did she want to hold my hand to lead me to the door to walk me out of the classroom, she got permission to walk Darth Vader the whole way down to the exit door.
So
So
what you're telling me, Joe, is not only is that costume a tax write-off for the show, you actually did a charitable deed with the same outfit all at once.
all at once, I'm
And,
telling you,
and
buddy, it's
I
a
should
gift that
note
keeps on giving, right?
I should note the gift that keeps on giving is Mrs. Kalinowski, who is the she is anytime you mention her, like she is every time she just leveled up yet again. I forgot that she was a kindergarten teacher. She is even cooler in my mind than ever before.
Yes, it was fantastic. It was so great, buddy. She asked me to design a little promo for her to send out to the whole school uh, for Star Wars Day. So all the kids were dressed up in. Uh, we had little baby Yodas running around. We had stormtroopers. We had Princess Leia. We had a blast. And as you saw in that photo, all the teachers were in their Star Wars garb. And it was so fun. And the only thing is, this Darth Vader is not that tall, but proportionately to a preschooler, I look like a giant. So that's all that mattered.
That's all that matters. And
Uh,
and and, and Joe, speaking of promo,
yeah,
you've created a little gift for our community. So
I
before we
have.
close out, I want Amanda were you going to say something else?
I was. Uh, I am so excited, buddy. As you know, we are coming really close to a little event at the end of May, beginning of June, where you and I are going to be together in some warm California sun. So, Amanda, if you wouldn't mind rolling that video, that would be awesome.
I want to take a quick moment to offer our creative show friends an exclusive opportunity to come out and join Buddy and I in sunny San Diego at Content Tech May 31st through June 2nd. If you use the coupon code CREATIVE200, you'll save $200 off registration. Come out and talk technology and the latest in content operations with brands such as Hilton, Fanatics, Sony, and many more. And if you're so inclined, you might be able to find Buddy and I poolside in the sunshine to talk some creativity and Star Wars and whatever else. So we would love to have you out there. We would love to see you in San Diego at Content Tech. So remember, use the coupon code CREATIVE200 and register today at content.tech. Thank you so much and hope to see you there.
I am not going poolside. You will not find me poolside.
Oh, you're going poolside, my friend.
That
I'm breaking out this shirt again, and I might just bring you one.
oh
We're gonna look
no.
like a dance team.
Oh my God, what did I get myself into? Anyway, we'll be seeing each other and many of the technical marketing professionals as part of our community there. In the
Right.
meantime, Joe, where can they find you, follow you, and see more of your creative stream?
Well, as you know, you can always find me hanging out at the halls of the Content Marketing Institute. You can find me on Twitter and LinkedIn at JK Kalinowski.
And Joe,
How about
where
you,
can they
bud?
find this show? I know we stream all the time, about once a month. Where do they find this show?
They can find it on Content Marketing Institute. Just go to cmi.media / the creative show, and it'll bring our channel up, or you can watch it and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Oh, well, and
And
they
how
can
about you,
find.
buddy? Where are you hanging out lately?
Well, I'm hanging out at Buddy Scalera. As you can see there I'm mostly on Twitter. on Buddy Scalera and a comic book school. I just dropped my first set of NFT photography just
Yes.
today, actually. So hopefully people go and check that out and look at the creative work that I'm doing on my social channels.
Congratulations, sir. The zombies are just his NFT zombies are just fantastic. They look wonderful. Congratulations on the sale of your last NFT, and here's to, we had a very successful chat. If folks want to take a look at our channel and take a look, we did a wonderful episode on NFTs last or 2 episodes ago. Um, you know, and it really stuck with me, and I am just unbelievably proud of you for the work you've been doing, and congratulations.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
And thanks to all of you who join us each month for the show, to our astonishingly cool engineer, Amanda. And we will see you in 1 month, if not sooner, in San Diego. But in the meantime, stay creative.